Hi, everyone. I'm PJ Sage with the Peepshow Podcast, and I wanted to take a moment to talk up what I think is an exciting new microphone for camming and clip production, and all sorts of other things, including podcasting. It is the Rode VideoMic NTG. So let's have a look at it. So if you haven't used an external microphone before, you're probably wondering, is it worth it? And we'll get to some side-by-side comparisons in a moment to help you make that determination. But first, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the features of the Rode VideoMic NTG. So dressed up in all its accessories, the Rode VideoMic NTG looks an awful lot like the Rode VideoMic Pro, which up until this point was probably the most popular mic for clip production. And just like its little brother, the Rode VideoMic NTG is designed to fit directly atop a camera. There's a little cold shoe mount here that you can slide right in on most standard cameras. And then there's also a port here for a 1/8 inch headphone cable that you can run from the microphone directly into your camera, making it really easy to use this microphone for grab-and-go recording. Also, like the VideoMic Pro, the VideoMic NTG has its own power source. It has an internal battery. And all you have to do is push in the power button here for a couple seconds. It lights up and you're ready to shoot. But there are a few key differences that make this microphone superior to other microphones in its class. And one of those differences, if we look right on the side here, you'll see a USB-C port that allows this microphone not only to charge, but also to connect directly to your computer or even a phone, which is really convenient. And what's so great about this is I just need the cable that comes with my phone charger. So in my case, I have an iPhone, and this has two different ends. I'll just take the USB-C side and plug that right on into the USB-C port here on the microphone, like so. And then I take the lightning side and I'm going to go ahead and plug that into my phone. And just like that, I'm ready to get high quality audio while recording video on my phone camera. If I want to take this a step further, and I do, I can attach a handle to the microphone. In this case, my handle is actually a little tripod that folds out to sit on my desk and then folds up into a handle. And I just need to put a little adapter to make the thread of the screw bigger. So I screw this on like so. This adapter might even come with a microphone, I can't remember, but you can get them super cheap on Amazon. And then I go ahead and screw this into the microphone. And now, if I want to record content on my phone, I can just hold the phone in one hand, hold the microphone in another hand, and I'm really getting very high quality audio straight into my phone. It's also great for interviews. I can talk back and forth just by flipping the microphone around. If I want to take it another step further, I can attach a little phone holder in between my handle here and then my microphone. And so what I do is I screw this in place, and then I'll take my phone and I'm going to slide the phone into the holder. Okay, so phone is nice and secure now. And then using the cold shoe mount, I will slide the microphone into place like so. Oops. And then lock everything together. And now I can shoot on my phone and get really high quality audio one-handed. So one problem I've had when shooting content with this microphone, whether it's mounted to a phone or mounted to more of a conventional camera, is that if you don't hold the camera setup level. If you, get in and do top-down shots or kind of panning shots, or you're moving around a lot, getting in close, the microphone tends to bounce a lot in this holder. And that bouncing translates into a lot of rumbling on your audio track, which is like really distracting and annoying. And this is also a problem I really had with the VideoMic Pro. But unlike the VideoMic Pro, the VideoMic NTG is just a standard cylindrical shape. It's the shape of like 1,000 different microphones. And so it will fit into a lot of generic microphone mounts, which is great because that means all I have to do is pull off the windscreen here. Okay, I'm going to unplug it for a second. And then I just pop it out of this little mount that comes with it. I'm going to unscrew this from my assembly. And then I'm going to replace it with a different kind of microphone mount. You can get these for something like $10 on Amazon. I think this one's made by a company named Movo. And I just go ahead and screw this in place. All right, that's looking steady. And now I'm going to slide my microphone back in. Coordination has never been my strong suit. Okay. Looks like that's sticking out properly, and I'm going to just plug the cable back in now. And with this holder, I get a much steadier grip on the microphone, and it really lets me just move around to whatever angle I want, whatever angle I need to shoot at. And at least in my experience, I've got much cleaner audio out of using this kind of mount. It eliminates the problem of the rumble that I've had with that other kind of mount. And so this setup is pretty much, what I would use to shoot one-handed with a phone. And I think it's super convenient, but also you can just plop this whole setup down on a tripod as well. In fact, this is a tripod. And so I can just sit it right down. And if I lower my camera, you can see that it's just able to sit right on my desk. You can also place it into a ring light. You can do a million things with this. And you're getting great audio any way you use it, as long as you have the microphone, correctly pointed at your mouth. Okay, so let's talk for a minute about how you use this mic. The type of mic that this is called a shotgun mic. And unlike handheld mics that we're used to, you don't speak directly into the microphone. Instead, you want to keep the microphone 6 inches, maybe a foot away, and you want it kind of off to the side, pointed at your mouth or around your mouth. But what you really want to avoid is blowing into the microphone. It's going to pick up your voice, but you don't really want to push any air into the microphone, because if your breath hits the microphone, it's going to make like a whooshing or a popping sound that's going to be very distracting, in the same way that the wobble is distracting. And that's actually convenient, because I'll show you here in my studio, being able to have the microphone off to the side means that it can be out of the shot. And so that's how I make videos in my studio, or even record the podcast, is I have this overhead mic hanging right here about a foot away from my face. And it's able to pick up my voice very clearly. And, the same idea would apply if you were camming. You don't have to put it overhead, but you could put it above or off to the side of a webcam. You could have it inside of a ring light, next to a camera, on top of a camera if you're shooting clips. I mean, as long as it's pointed at you, it's generally going to pick up better than most other kinds of microphones, if you're 6 inches or more away from the microphone. And I mean, any microphone, even shotgun microphones, you get a few feet away and they're going to start to sound a little bit distant. But shotgun microphones do a better job than any other microphone at picking up noise from a distance. And so, in most cases, when you're making clips or camming, they're going to be your best bet. I mean, the only thing I wouldn't suggest a shotgun microphone for is if you were doing an ASMR type video. But other than that, really, shotgun microphone's going to be your best bet. And this microphone in particular is probably the easiest shotgun style microphone to use. Another key difference that I wanted to point out now that we have the wind guard off is that if you look at the styling on this microphone, it resembles the design of much more expensive professional microphones that Rode makes. And this microphone is supposed to have inherited the technology that goes into those much more expensive professional microphones. And in my opinion, it sounds far better than any other simple on-camera microphone of this style. And in fact, I would go so far as to say that it sounds closer to my much more expensive studio mic than it does to a mic in the same category like the VideoMic Pro that we've talked about. But no need to take my word for it, because I'm going to test it out for you right now. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. All right, just so you can see, I've got my Audio Technica 4053b here, which is my go-to studio mic, and then also the Rode VideoMic NTG. And I'm going to go ahead and read a little passage from Laura Helen Marx's Alice in Portland, just because it happened to be on my desk. Here we go. The homoerotics of Dracula porn. Pornographic spectatorship is traditionally homosocial. During the stag era of the early 20th century, this homosociality is most obvious, as men gathered together in brothels or frat houses to watch pornography. Later, during the theatrical golden age, circa 1972 to 1984, men once again gathered to watch porn, though this time in a darker room and with the luxury of spaced-out seating. Audiences during the theatrical era remained overwhelmingly male. Still, special couples rates and testimony from the time suggests women were also more frequently in attendance than before, puncturing the homosocial sanctuary. With the inception of home video, spectators are generally characterized as solitary masturbators. Yet Emily Shelton argues that in reality, these men tacitly understand themselves to be part of a larger homosocial community. While this is persuasive, it is also important to note that while these men may be aware of their brothers in arms, they also must be aware of the rapidly expanding audience which, since the 1980s, has exponentially grown in numbers of women, LGBT consumers, and people of color. Thus, the invisible and anonymous mass of porn spectators are no longer safely housed in the man cave and cannot be relied on to share viewing proclivities or offer virtual high fives. With that said, the sense one gets when hanging out in online forums and comment threads, visiting the video store if you're lucky enough to have one, or attending porn conventions is that men are the majority, and the presence of a few women or queer folks does not cause the safety and sanctity of their brotherhood to crumble. All right, so to wrap up my little review here, the Rode VideoMic NTG, though not the cheapest mic there is, retailing at $250, I believe is an excellent value given how versatile it is and given just how excellent the sound quality is. And I think that this mic has the potential to really revolutionize audio quality in camming and clip production, and I would urge anybody who is serious about making high quality content to really give this mic some serious consideration. If you are interested in this mic, I will include an affiliate link so you can support me with your purchase. And feel free to hit me up with comments or questions.